Hello everyone, welcome to Sacred Solaris. My name is Samantha, and in today's video we're going to be talking about signs that you are going through a spiritual awakening. I wanted to create this video for those souls that are out there that are maybe feeling really lost and wanting to find their footing and understand what they're going through a little bit further. And if some of the things that I list really strike at your heart and are your truth also, that maybe you can feel heard, feel understood, and maybe feel a little less alone. I also want to say that the things I talk about in this video are purely my truth based on the experiences that I have gone through the awakenings in my life, but also the times I've had to guide others, clients, friends, family through their own awakenings and big shifts of energy. These signs are not listed in order, so you're not going to go through them 1 to 10 and you may experience one, you may experience all of them. I just wanted to make sure I let you know that if you have never experienced any of these things, that also doesn't necessarily mean that you're not going through an awakening. It's just these are some of the most common things that we go through. An awakening is a moment in time. Normally it is caused by a catalyst, a kind of instigating event. Sometimes the event could be one specific moment, one day, boom, everything changes. Other times it could be a slow shift. It could be a big chapter of your life, something coming to a close or something changing. No matter what it is, no matter how long of time this instigating event is, from before the event to after the event, you see life completely differently. That is really the number one sign that you're going through some sort of awakening in life, is that after this event, after this thing that happened, you just do not perceive reality and life and the world the same way. It's literally like an eye awakens, like that was sleeping or clouded, that the illusions and the veils that were once in front of you are being lifted. And it can be so terrifying to navigate that, to wake up one day and see every foundation that you've built your life upon, every structure of this, I physically, spirit shows me literally a foundation of a building. And it's like waking up and this foundation is rocking and you've built your whole life and your perception with this big building on top of it. And to know that that's all crumbling down around you, to try and navigate that. That's why we go through these big dark nights of the souls, and the process of going through an awakening is it's like an upheaval of all of our beliefs and our past experiences. Everything. It's intense. Our number one is the perception of reality, of truth, completely and radically changing. Number two is, because of this new perception, because of this great change in the way that you see life and the world, there can be a feeling of aloneness, because you may find friendships, relationships, family, friends, work colleagues, all of a sudden the way that you related to people is drastically changing. You may have this deep desire to talk about and to dive into the deeper aspects of life, that superficial, surface level kind of things no longer quench your thirst when it comes to connecting with other people, that you just desire a deeper and more authentic connection. So all these relationships that were built on a certain paradigm, a certain way of being, you might start to feel alienated within them or feel out of alignment and like it's not fitting, if that makes sense. Sign number three, which flows on from that as well, is the big call to be alone and to have more solitude. I always think of the archetype of the hermit in the tarot, the person going within for solace, to dive within the inner world, to come into communion more with ourselves and our spirit. I believe that this need for being alone or wanting to be more isolated for a short period of time kind of comes from trying to shift and sort out what it is that we believe, but it is definitely a really big thing that so many of us that go through these awakenings really are called for alone time and to just kind of be within our own inner world. And I believe it's also so we can start hearing the voice of our higher self and the connection to spirit and to, you know, your soul and your spirit guides and all those sorts of things as well. One of the most noticeable signs when we go through awakenings in our life is shifts and changes in our personal relationships. So that is friendships, our partners, our families, our work colleagues, because often when you've gone through an awakening, the way that you see life and the things you're interested in, your perception of everything starts to change. So if you have relationships built on a certain paradigm or dynamic, and then all of a sudden you fundamentally change at your core, it can become very hard to navigate these relationships. When you perform a certain role or your part in a relationship is kind of based on the person that you used to be, when that part of you changes, it can become very uncomfortable for friends and family because they have to start, you know, looking at their life. Why are you changing and what does that mean to them? So disharmony in relationships, I believe, is one of the hardest things to navigate when we go through awakenings in life. And all we can do is just hope that the people in our life are understanding and accepting. And if they're not, I think it's important to use our compassion and to know that we're probably triggering them because we are changing fundamentally, and that may be scary for them as well. But we can't stay in the same place. We can't, you know, be the former version of ourselves to make other people comfortable. That's not our job. Our job is to be as authentic as we can. And as we shine our authentic personality and light into the world, hopefully that will allow them to, you know, soul search a little bit deeper and see where they can maybe be more authentic as well. The next sign is feeling really unfulfilled within our career or our job and wanting to live a life that's more purposeful, maybe more of service to others, wanting to help others. Because these awakenings are really big heart openings, third eye openings, you know, all of our energy centers is just kind of like blasted open. And for a lot of us, this need for service really comes online when we're in a job where we're not feeling fulfilled spiritually or energetically. We kind of start to feel very dissatisfied and just start soul searching of like, what am I here to do? Why am I doing this? There has to be more to life than this. The next sign is an opening of the heart space, a deep compassion and empathy. Kind of, it feels like what you used to feel is now 100-fold. It can be this really deep calling of sadness as well, because all of a sudden we're like seeing all the awful things that happen, the tragic things that happen, and we're feeling them on such a deeper level than we ever have in the past. It's literally like a floodgate gets released from our heart space and we feel everything. That's why I really encourage people about energetic boundaries and protection when we're awakening, because it can be so overwhelming to feel all of these feelings, you know, that we never did before or that we maybe only felt a little bit before. Another sign is the awakening of our psychic senses. You might find that your intuition starts going off the rails when you open up towards other people. This can look like, you know, buzzing in the ears, receiving psychic downloads, having extremely vivid dreams and dreams that come true, foretelling dreams. You might find that your gut instinct becomes like extremely important to you, that you start perceiving energy when you walk into a room. Like you walk into a room and all of a sudden you can sense that someone in the room here is sending off a certain vibe, or, you know, you start saying things and a person says, oh my God, I was just thinking that. You know, these really quirky little psychic moments start to become more and more noticeable for you. And you also might find that you see synchronistic numbers, that you have, you know, beautiful downloads, or you might find that you see synchronistic numbers like 111 or 222, whatever those might be towards you, receiving messages that your guides are acknowledging, yes, this is real. Yes, we are trying to get through to you. Your higher self is trying to, you know, pull you on your path further and further as you're expanding and kind of soul searching. The next sign is craving authenticity in all things. So when someone comes into your life and they're talking about stuff and it's very superficial, or it's really fake, or they're justifying someone's bad behavior, whatever it may be, and kind of putting up that like facade, there's that deep part within you that kind of knows that they're being disingenuous and they're not being authentic, and you want to align more with that authenticity. So that again can be about the losing friends and shifting away from certain people or certain jobs that are very superficial, and wanting to align with a truth, or having conversations that are more truthful, more authentic, where you're talking about the real nitty-gritty of life. The next sign is a deep awareness of Mother Earth and nature. So a real call to going outside, going to the beach, connecting with nature, seeing the beauty and the magic in the everyday, in things that you used to just walk by and not even acknowledge. You stare at, or you look at, and you are in this like deep reverence for how beautiful the world is around you. I'll never forget when I went through my awakenings. That was one of the biggest things. I remember sitting on the grass and I was looking at the grass, this little patch like this big, and all of a sudden I saw a spider, and then some ants, and then some more ants, and then I saw a beetle, and I'm looking at this tiny little patch of grass. There was all this like magical life and energy. And then I kind of like zoomed out, I guess, you know, like I put my head up and I saw the whole of my front yard, and realizing that there's just so much life and interconnectedness to everything that's around me. You know, I just used to walk past it all. I would never just sit and look at grass. I guess sometimes we start pondering the deeper thoughts, looking at the sky, and not just looking at the sky. It's like really observing the complexity and the beauty of the sky. Another sign can be a change in sleeping patterns. So finding that you're not sleeping as well, but you need a lot more sleep. There can be a big waking up at like 1 to 4 a.m. That's a very big sign that spirit is very like around us, like the witching hour, I guess they used to call it. There was nights that I would wake up, roll over, and it was 3:33 in the morning, like bang on. There's definitely that kind of like call to random times of sleep. Another sign can be the call to eat healthier or to have a healthier lifestyle. I think it comes from kind of this awakening that our body is our physical vessel for our soul, and we want to create as much health and harmony for it. But I think it also comes from the compassion side of things. A lot of people, when they go through great awakenings, change their diet in eating vegetarian or vegan, because the compassion side of opening up more and more, our heart sort of can't stomach and handle eating meat and all those sorts of things as well. So that could be another thing that you're going through, is this really big shift in your body, wanting to heal yourself in that way. And then going from healing your body, there also is a great desire to heal parts of yourself energetically and mentally. So things from the past, wounds and things that we've gone through, wanting to dive into those like further and heal from them. So if you have watched this video and the things I've said have resonated, if you're going through a dark night of the soul throughout your spiritual awakening, I want you to know that you are supported by spirit. You are supported by your guides. You are supported by your loved ones in spirit, the animal spirits that guide you, the celestial beings. You are so loved. And I know it can be really hard. I know I've been there, journeying through the unknown, everything changing around you, the way that you perceive reality and the world shifting. It can be such an isolating experience, but trust me, the isolation and the loneliness that you feel is making way for abundance and beautiful new blessings to come through, for other souls that are like-minded, that share the same viewpoint, the same, spiritual connectedness. They're coming towards you like a magnet. And this period of aloneness is really for you to sit with yourself, to really hear your own inner voice, hear your own connection to spirit. I'm sending you so many blessings if you do resonate with these feelings, and reach out to me below. My email is thesacredsolaris@gmail.com. You can DM me on Instagram. I'd love to hear from you. If you have any questions, please let me know. Email me. I am doing a Q&A video here on YouTube. I'm launching my Patreon soon, which is going to be a beautiful community of like-minded souls, so you can check that out. And everything that I offer is on my website, which is sacredsolaris.com. Thank you so much for being here. I really hope that this has helped. If you think of any other signs that you want to share, leave them down below in the comments, because I'm sure it'll help someone as they're going through their awakening as well. All right, sending you all blessings, and I'll see you in next week's video. Bye, my loves.